My name is Moody. I was in the 342nd Medical Detachment out of Gainesville, Florida. We went to Cateland, Iraq, Cobb Air Force Base, and it's in Nazaré, Iraq. Yeah, I joined when I was 17. My parents had to sign a paper to let me go. And I did basic my junior summer, I did AIT my senior summer, and then I went to Iraq in 2009. I chose to be more excited about the adventure and continue to be a little naive. You don't really know what it's like till you get there. And luckily I was with a lot of good friends. I was in a medical detachment, which means I was with only 13 people versus being like in a huge battalion with 200. And it was like our own little family. So it was really nice to be with a small group. I was a mechanic, but I was deployed with a preventive medicine detachment, which means they were like health inspectors. So we did a lot of checking like barracks and checking the water for pH and checking food temperatures and going into the really, desolate places where like infantry were and making sure they're staying safe and keeping them from being sick. The base I was at, we were getting mortared more than anything else, where they were basically sending rockets into our base, and like one day our gym would be there, one day it wouldn't. One day our cafeteria would be there, one day it wouldn't. And we'd rebuild. I did lose a couple acquaintances that I made during the deployment because we're surrounded by all the Marines and Navy and Air Force, and definitely had some acquaintances come and go. I had a friend of mine, we were separated into 3 different bases, 13 of us, and one day their living area got destroyed by a mortar. And the worst thing that happened to any of us in our group was my friend Brendan. He ended up having to pull burning people out of his living area, and those were people he was working with every day. And then there was other days, I think the silliest thing that happened to us that I was just like out-of-body experience was we were in our coffee shop, because you kind of get, I hate to say it, people do get complacent just out of nature, human nature. You kind of just want to calm down. I remember drinking coffee and the mortar went off right outside of our coffee shop and the coffee spilled, and I was upset my coffee spilled. You can't walk, you can't be in your uniform anywhere without having someone stop you, and it's very humbling. Before I got deployed, I didn't like it. I didn't like for people to stop me because I had not done anything, but now that I've been deployed, I get it. I get it. The military touches every family, everywhere, every denomination, every race, and everyone, for the most part, has always been very friendly. If you're representing something so much bigger than yourself, there's no room for politics. Especially when I'm with someone that's black and Puerto Rican and white and this, that, and the other, and I've had other races, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, it touches everyone. You can stay in Perry forever, and not ever leave the state, or you can travel the world, and it really benefited me in growth as a person. It's so interesting how the human race works. It's so interesting that strangers can be your best friend, and that strangers can take care of you, and you can take care of strangers, and it's the most pure, unique relationships you'll ever have in the military. I share something with 4 other people that I don't share with in this whole world. The deployment training really came from, we do training right before the deployment, but basic training is just getting you in shape. It's just making sure you understand where your place is. Rank, there's a reason for rank. It works well, it's a well-oiled machine, and it just takes you, they break you down to build you back up, and that is sometimes not the best case like in life, but in the military that's just how it goes. And you just got to learn that you don't need to see the big picture. You just got to do your job and just believe in your higher staff that you're doing the right thing for them, and then they're doing the right thing for the next group. And that's more or less what basic training is about. It's just to teach you the traditions, the history of military, get you in shape, and make sure you understand the rank system. That's yeah, I didn't have a bad experience at basic training. Well, when we were in Iraq, people had M4s, M16s, and 9mm. We, in basic training, only learn M16s because, we're young rank, and so you don't really mess with the other ones. And but we got to shoot like 50 cals and the whole 9 yards, and 50 calers are the ones that are on top of Humvees in the turrets, or they're the same ones that are in like Blackhawks that are hanging out the back. That's what all the 50 cals are. We received fire. I was in a Humvee with armor. All you hear is like the penny sound, the ting ting, whatever, and they just told us to shoot back, and we couldn't even see what we were shooting at. It was not anything terribly dramatic. We were in a Blackhawk one time, and we had mortars coming around us, and I think that was the other semi-scary. That's out of your control. That one was a little because it's out of my control as to what happens. It's up to the helicopter pilot. So those were the only times I ever received fire on me, other than mortars, and you never know where those come from. I was happy. We redeployed into Seattle, and it was beautiful compared to, we were in the very sandy part right above Kuwait, so there was no palm trees. A lot of places like Baghdad, for instance, has palm trees and grass, and they, you know, build it up to, but you're still surrounded by desert, but they build it up. Young people who want to join the military, I would, before you go to a recruiter, I would shadow and talk to someone close to your age, even over email or Facebook, and talk to someone who's been there and let them explain to you exactly what you're getting into. Because I didn't know, and it turned out fine, but there are a lot of young people that go into the military and they don't understand what they're getting into, and they end up either getting out or getting in trouble, or, you know, and that's just, it's just a waste of the military's money. It's a waste of their time. And just talk to someone who's been there, let them explain to you how much freedom is going to be taken away, and how much sacrifice you're going to have to do, even at a young age, and how much responsibility it's going to be for you, because it's definitely, you are responsible for other human lives. You have to be passionate about your job, and it's really hard to change it, and they expect you to want to do it, and they expect you to do it 100%, and you just have to be ready for the sacrifice, because there's no turning around when you're in it, and the Army will provide if you decide to do it.